Hasn't seen since 1985. The Cowboy comeback is so dramatic it almost seems scripted in Hollywood. Here's Leslie.
Yes, Greg. Last year, the Dallas Cowboys were the laughingstock of the NFL. Jimmy Johnson called it the worst experience of his life. Remember, Lawrence Taylor said the Cowboy offense was so simple he thought it was a trick. Well, take another look, LT. Dallas is on the verge of the biggest one-year turnaround in NFL history.
Aikman going up top, and it's intercepted.
Now, I know that there are skeptics among you that might suspect that that's not the whole story.
Indeed, it isn't. Chances are the last time people talked about Dallas, it was the TV show, not the team. In recent years, the Cowboys have shot themselves in the foot. Now, like JR, they seem to be emerging from the nightmare. Well, hey, ride 'em, Cowboys. With a solid defense, an emerging offense, and 5 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years, they're not talking Dallas around here. They're talking dynasty.
I think going into the season, if someone would have said we'd finish 7-9, guys would be happy about it and say that was a big turnaround for us. But being at 7-7 right now and having 2 ball games left and having a chance to make it to the playoffs, I think it'll be a disappointing season for us and everyone involved if we don't make it.
Their chances of making it have been greatly enhanced by the development of rookie running back Emmitt Smith, who scored 4 times against Phoenix last week.
It took a little time to gel together. It took time for me to get comfortable with the system also and just know my assignments.
But at the start of the year, many assignments were blown, and the newcomers as well as the old-timers paid the price.
It got pretty bad. You know, it was extremely rough to even go out the house and go to the grocery store because guys was always asking what's wrong with the Cowboys or what's going to happen. And people did start to point fingers for a while about the new era, the new regime.
To the fans, the old regime had been ruthlessly cast aside. A dynasty with a 20-year record of excellence was overshadowed by an oil man from Arkansas.
I was aware of Jimmy because he's my friend, and so felt very comfortable that when we hit hard times, we've had them and we're going to have some more, that we could stand back to back and work our way through them.
There really never was any self-doubt. There were some frustrating times. You know, we knew that it was going to be difficult. We knew that we were going to have a very tough year, but we were willing to fight through it because eventually we'd get it turned around.
I know I'd go from rags to riches.
Like another former heavyweight champion from Texas, the Cowboys feel they have gotten up off the canvas and back into contention. They've been wheeling and dealing, and if you think they're hot now, just look at the embarrassment of riches still on the way.
I'd be a millionaire.
Good job, Ray. Concentrate on the ball now. Get a little bend in your knees. Concentrate on the football. Let's go. Pick it up. Good job, Ron.
Now that we're at this stage, we can be better, and that's what we're working for.
But do you feel a little greedy saying that? You know, someone said to you a year ago, hey, 7-7.
Well, I have to give you a little clue. I am greedy.
I got to tell you, I'm enjoying this.
The Cowboy fans are greedy, too. You know, you hear on the West Coast that they think it's going to be an all-California Super Bowl. It's going to be the 49ers and the Raiders. In New York, you hear all New York. It's going to be the Bills and the Giants. Well, in Texas, they're saying, why can't it be an all-Texas Super Bowl? Why can't it be the Cowboys and the Oilers? Now, before you make that face, remember the World Series when Cincinnati swept Oakland. Terry, what about the Cowboys? How good can they be?
Living in the Dallas area, the town there loves this team because they're a blue-collar team. This is a team that doesn't want to be America's team. They want to be Dallas's team. They're building with good defense, good quarterback, excellent running game, and a coach that knows talent.
And they are building their way. They're not there yet, but they've certainly done some good.
The fifth-place schedule has helped them a lot. Don't forget that.
Sure. All right. Thanks very much, Leslie. Appreciate it. Next up, we'll open up the eye for a look at one veteran NFL coach who's putting his foot down.
No, we're not looking ahead to December 23rd. But what do you think? Last week, as Jim Kelly lay screaming on the turf at Giant Stadium, do you suppose the Bills were spinning fast forward to today's game? Can you imagine their horror as Kelly was carted off the week before the division clincher? And how about Miami? Last week, before their comeback, when they trailed Seattle 10-3, do you think they were desperate? Do you think they fear that 3 months of work and anticipation be lost on the Sunday before the big showdown?
It's a championship game. This is the biggest game of the year for us, and you know, we're ready to go.
Yeah, you better be. If you can't get up for this, you won't get up for nothing.
The first time they played, week 2, Bruce Smith raged at Marv Levy. Claimed he'd given up by replacing the starters with 7 minutes left to play. But from this anger came a new Buffalo team. Unified, galvanized, in a way that the old bickering Bills had never been. For 3 months, they've waited.
This is the one we've been waiting for.
It's December football. The AFC East title on the line in shivering Buffalo. Don't believe them. They've been thinking about this day for 3 months.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills.
A capacity crowd, 80,000 plus at Rich Stadium in Buffalo for the AFC's most significant head-on matchup of the season. Buffalo 12-2. Miami at 11-3. A Buffalo win clinches the division title. If Miami wins today and next week against the Colts, the AFC East crown goes south along with home field throughout the playoffs. Here in Buffalo, 35 degrees, freezing rain changing to sleet and snow, while the Dolphins can only fantasize about the balmy conditions in Miami, where it is 82 degrees with sunshine. Speaking of sunshine, this is Paul McGuire. I'm Marv Albert, and for the first time in the history of these two franchises, Buffalo and Miami are playing here in Buffalo in the month of December. How will the weather affect Miami?
Well, it's not going to affect Buffalo as much as it is Miami. Miami, I'm looking at a situation here, is handling the football on pass receptions and also turning the ball over in fumbles. A turnover is going to win this football game.
And the Buffalo Bills won the toss. They will receive. Pete Stoyanovich getting set to kick it away to number 30, Don Smith, who is back deep along with Al Edwards. Smith from the 15. Able to return across the 25-yard line. There is Frank Reich replacing the injured Jim Kelly. And the offensive line, Will Wolford, was a question mark because of a knee injury suffered last week, but says he's all right. Thurman Thomas and Jamie Mueller are the running backs. And the outstanding group of receivers, Lofton and Reed, along with the tight end McKellar. The shotgun of the passing down. Beebe comes on along with Smith, and you can look for Don Beebe to be one of the favorite targets of Frank Reich. It's a first down from the 27. And Reich to throw on first down. McKellar could not hang on. The tight end Keith McKellar, a legitimate receiving threat, could not hold it. Covered by Cliff Odom. Defensively, Brian Sauché replacing the injured T.J. Turner, inactive today because of a knee problem. Buffalo in the hurry-up. Second down and 10 from the 27. To the ground for Thomas. Thurman Thomas averaging just under 5 yards per carry. Back to the Dolphin defensive look in passing situations. Wholesale changes are made. Again, Buffalo in the hurry-up. You see Wilson, Jr., Glenn, and Thomas come on in the nickel. It is a third down and 5 from the 32. Wright has the first down, combining with Thurman Thomas. He picked up 15.
See, the one thing about the hurry-up offense when they ran it with Kelly, and they can also run it with Reich, is what they do is they've got Miami in their basic defense, and they're trying to keep them there. When they do this, Thurman Thomas, number 34, comes out of the backfield. The tight end takes the linebackers out of play.
And again to the hurry-up, and Reich completes a hard hit on Don Beebe. That went for 14. The strong safety, Jarvis Williams, on the stop. Well, the Miami Dolphins expected the Buffalo Bills to stay on the ground, but the Bills crossing the Dolphins up early. Reich has been going to the air.
Reich is going to the air. They put Tasker in. They took Beebe out. He took a shot, and they're checking his back.
First down at the 38, just underway. Minute and a half gone by. Here's Thomas. And Thurman Thomas forced out by the right corner, J.B. Brown.
When they run this sweep, what happens is that the tight end, and they try to tie up the linebacker, which is Hugh Green, number 55. If Hugh Green can't get outside, that means Thurman Thomas can get outside.
Buffalo Bills have been a very fast starting outfit, and they're on the move off this opening series. 2nd down and 4 at the Miami 32. Thomas has the first down. Hugh Green made the stop. Thurman Thomas leading the NFL in total yards, better than 1,600. In only his 3rd season, he's emerged as one of the NFL's premier running backs.
One of the things about the hurry-up offense is it's great for the offense against the defense, but the other bad thing about it is we can't show you any replays.
It's a first down from the 26. Right couldn't find anybody. The ball knocked out of his hands. And let's wait until they unravel. The Dolphins indicate that they have recovered. They have. Miami has recovered on the fumble by quarterback Frank Reich.
Now the left defensive end, look at Marv. You can see Marv Levy. He is really upset about this. Reich can start moving out of the pocket. Just reaches in and the ball is pulled out of his hand. Reich will come right at you here. Here he comes, and I think it's O'Shea, number 70. Watch this. He just pops the ball out. There's just no chance. Reich, when you start running, remember now, he hasn't played that much. You must have control of the football when you're running with it.
So Brian O'Shea with a key play early. It's been a season of suspension for steroid use and a season of injuries for O'Shea, who played well last week in the game against Seattle. Dan Marino and the Dolphins take over at the 23. That's Mark Clayton making his return today in motion. Marino puts it up on first down and able to complete right at the marker. Darryl Talley making the stop on Clayton. A couple of outstanding rookies on that offensive line. Richmond Webb, who has made it to the Pro Bowl along with Keith Sims. They have played very well, and it is a young offensive line. Tony Page makes his return. Sat out last week with an ankle injury. Clayton is back after sitting out 5 weeks. And in the passing situation, Crash Jensen comes on along with Troy Stratford and Tony Martin. They're calling it a second at about a yard. And to the ground for Sammy Smith. He has the first down. Bruce Smith making the tackle. Sammy Smith has had his ups and downs recently. Problems with fumbles. That Bills front 7. Seals, Wright, and Smith. Up front, Bennett, Conlon, Bentley, and Talley. One of the stronger front 7s in the NFL. And when they go to the dime, Dwight Green and David Poole enter the alignment. That's the normal secondary and a good one. First down at the 34. Off the fumble by Wright. Miami has taken over. No score. 4 minutes gone by. Clayton in motion. And the penalty flag is thrown.
Richmond Webb was moving. Trying to get to Bruce Smith.
Number 78 on the offense.
I guess that's one good way to try to block him. Just go before he does. He knows Richmond Webb has his hands full. On top of the screen, you'll see him. He moves here because Bruce Smith is moving. Now, Bruce Smith would have been offside had Webb just sat there. But he didn't. He attacked Bruce Smith.
Referee today is Red Cashin. And he marked it off. It's a 1st and 15 at the 29. 83 Clayton peels off. Here's Smith. Stopped by Ray Bentley. Ray Bentley, an avid Alice Cooper fan. Get a close-up of Ray. You'll note, Paul, you can relate to this. He wears the eye black. There it is, in Alice Cooper style. Very nice. Ray Bentley in his 5th year out of Central Michigan. Had a terrific game against the Giants last week. 14 tackles. Defensive coordinator Walt Corey said that Bentley was remarkable last week because he did it with one arm. An injured arm. And the Buffalo defensive unit comes up strong. Smith and Seals getting the wraps on Sammy Smith.
That time, Bruce Smith came up the middle to make the play. He didn't actually make the tackle, but he slowed down Sammy Smith. And then you're going to see Leon. Now, here comes Bruce. He's just coming up the middle. He doesn't make the tackle. Leon Seals does. He comes in to make the play. But as long as you slow him down, give your teammates a chance to get there, you did the job.
Paul, we're told yesterday after practice, Bruce Smith got in a skirmish with tight end Keith McKellar. Punches were thrown. Smith hurt his hand. At first it was thought he suffered a broken hand, but it was not broken. Here's Marino, and he is sacked. And that, as you know, is a rarity. The quick-moving nose tackle, Jeff Wright, with his 5th sack of the season.
You remember a year ago, Jeff Wright is the guy that sacked Marino here to break that long streak. Bruce Smith is double-teamed by Jensen and by Webb on the top side. And then you're going Wright all by himself, one-on-one in the middle with Sims. And he beats Sims, makes the tackle, makes the sack, and the Dolphins are putting.
And Reggie Roby will punt from inside his 15. Al Edwards is back. Edwards comes up for it and takes inside the 25, and he is immediately called down. This is a matchup of two of the better special teams in the NFL. You saw the flag go flying. A 48-yard punt by Roby, and the good coverage by the Dolphins. Kerry Glenn, who has made the Pro Bowl team as an alternate on special teams, is right on the scene to get to Edwards.
And they're throwing a flag. There's a late hit on Moore, number 27, coming in and throwing an elbow.
Paul, getting back to that Bruce Smith, Keith McKellar melee. Pickering Bills, as they were labeled last year and right at the start of this year, had been on the quiet side, but now back at it.
Invalid fair catch signal. Number 85 on the receivers. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. First down and 10.
What happened is Edwards signaled for a fair catch and let the ball hit and then pick the ball up and try to run with it. I thought they'd call piling on Moore, number 27, but they didn't. See, here's the fair catch by Edwards here. Where then he lets the ball go. Now he can and starts to run with the football. That slows the defense down, unfair advantage.
And Glenn had to make the play because he saw that Edwards was looking to run. We'll be back in Buffalo in a moment.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legends set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
To the good life.
To live the good life, you have to pay the price. Today, the average new car costs over $15,000. But relax. There's a motor oil that can protect your investment under extreme conditions when conventional oils won't. Mobil One. Isn't your car worth the extra protection?
To the good life.
There is big-time controversy brewing in Bud Bowl 3. Bud Light's top draft choice, Bud Dry, announced he may give up football and play baseball instead. While it would be the BFL's loss, it would certainly be baseball's gain. Major League Manager Tommy Lasorda had this to say.
You don't see athletes like this every day.
Will it be footballs or fastballs for Bud Dry? For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Burke.
Buffalo head coach Marv Levy told us last night the Bills have succeeded with the hurry-up, but he points out the downside of the hurry-up is that at times it takes you out of the running game, and he feels you must be able to run to win a championship.
Okay, now here's the situation that we're going to find out. Will they go to the hurry-up again? It was successful going down the field, except Reich fumbled the football. But what it does, if you don't move the chains and move the clock and keep your defense off the field, if you go 3 and out in a minute, you hurt your defensive football team.
It is the first out of the 17. We're told Don Beebe has been sidelined because of a head injury. Al Edwards now in as a flanker. Thurman Thomas. And he is stopped by John Offerdahl. John Offerdahl had another excellent game last week against Seattle. Offerdahl played with an upset stomach and played very well. We're told victim of some bad clam sauce. Paul, a lesson in life for you. Penalty markers are thrown on the 2nd down and 4. Looked like Brian Sauché showed movement. Talking with Offerdahl at practice yesterday, he said he did stay away from the clam sauce here in the Buffalo area. All right, here is Red Cashin.
Well, they're looking at Buffalo Bills are moving, and it would be the right guard, John Davis. That's why Sauché moved. That's the House Ballard. Next to him is Davis, number 65, and he's the guy that actually moved.
The House, Howard Ballard, who goes 6'6", and a very spelled 3-1-5.
3-1-5, give or take 10.
He's played well. He had his ups and downs last year. It is a 2nd and 9 from the 18. And right with the time, and has a first down. James Lofton on the reception for 24 yards.
There is just no way that you can cover a man that long, and especially James Lofton, because Reich had all the time in the world. The offensive line, just tremendous blocking. No chance for the defensive line to get to Reich. No chance for McCarr to cover Lofton.
And back to the hurry-up. It is Thurman Thomas finding a hole, bringing out to midfield. Cliff Odom, inside linebacker, making the stop. Thurman Thomas in his 3rd year out of Oklahoma State. And he can pass by Marion Butts of San Diego for the number 1 spot in rushing, because Butts is sidelined by injury. You saw Thurman limp to the sideline, replaced by Kenneth Davis. 2nd down and 3. This is Davis. And a flag tossed. First down. Picked up by Kenneth Davis in his 5th year out of Texas Christian.
They're calling this on the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, the least penalized team in the NFL.
Illegal use of hands. It's got to be hands to the face, especially on defense and on a running play.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 98 on the defense. First down.
Well, here's Thurman Thomas. Now, Thurman limped off the field. Davis went in. Here is the play. They're going up into the middle, and he was limping when he came out. Now, right there, it doesn't look like he twisted anything until he hit the ground, and then they rolled over on him.
Buffalo first down from the Miami 38. Oh, that was nearly picked off. Pass intended for the tight end, Keith McKellar. It was blooped out into the flat. John Offerdahl had a shot at it.
The pass was thrown to McKellar, but McKellar was not even looking back at Reich. I mean, he just came across the middle. Watch McKellar. The ball is going to go by now. Offerdahl's the only one that had a chance at it. Look at shots hit. All I got to do is pick it up. I can outrun the lineman.
2nd and 10 from the 38. And Reich goes deep for the end zone. And it's dropped. Andre Reed had the sure 6. He was screened by the cover man, Louis Oliver, but he should have caught it.
Jarvis Williams and Louis Oliver were both back there. Now, Reich has the pressure on him, so he just slides out to his left and throws the ball. And you're right, Reed, I think he just lost it because it was either Jarvis Williams or Louis Oliver. He got his hand up, and he never saw it.
Now, Andre Reed, who is the Bills' all-time leader in touchdown receptions and has had another outstanding season, has not caught a touchdown pass in 8 straight games against Miami. No score with 6:40 remaining in this first quarter. Here's the 3rd down play. Right in trouble. Down he goes. And that is the first sack of the day for the Dolphins. Brian Sauché off to the excellent start. And that his first sack of the season.
And he just runs right by Will Wolford, the starting tackle, and makes the play on Reich. Now, here is the play before when it could have been a touchdown. Now, I'm not sure if it's Jarvis Williams or Oliver. There is the hand in the face. That was Oliver, number 25. Jarvis Williams was there. And I just think that Andre Regis lost the ball.
Rick Tootin with his first punt of the day. That's the good hang time. And the Dolphins let it go. Once again, excellent coverage by the Bills, led by Jamie Mueller, 37-yard punt, and Miami goes back to the offense.
What do you give a man who has the look, the touch, the smile? Preferred stock from the House of Stetson. The new, the now, the gift. Preferred stock, the extra smooth cologne for an extra special man.
What's that fragrance you're wearing?
Make a statement without saying a word.
Recently, Acura introduced what many have called the greatest sports car the world has ever known. Our latest idea is somewhat bigger. The new Acura Legend.
What's this? Bunny slippers?
Of all the last-minute gifts you can buy, one's appreciated more than all the rest.
Wow.
McDonald's gift certificates.
Thanks, Mom.
McDonald's for holiday fun.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By LA Gear. Unstoppable in performance fashion footwear. By IBM. Whatever your size, whatever your needs, IBM is working to bring you the best solutions. And by the Budweiser family of beers, who also bring you Bud Bowl 3 coming January 27th.
Happy holidays from Buffalo, New York. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire as the Dolphins start out from their 11. Sammy Smith trying to establish a running game for the Dolphins. Buffalo on its first series did move down the field crisply. However, the quarterback Frank Reich fumbled, recovered by the Dolphins. And as a result, despite the fact that the Bills have had the edge here in the first quarter, we are scoreless. Back in week 2, a convincing victory at Joe Robbie Stadium by Miami. At one stretch, Miami had won 20 in a row over Buffalo. That through the 70s. And a first down picked up by Mark Duper. His first catch of the day, covered by the right corner, Nate Odoms.
First and 10 is 24.
So first down at the 24-yard line. All right, a look at the 10-minute ticker. Pittsburgh with a 14-0 lead over Cleveland. Atlanta, 10-0 over the LA Rams. Johnny Hector touchdown for the Jets.
You're seeing Duper get to the outside, and when you play off that far off a Duper, he's going to end up catching some balls. And Nate Holmes is not going to give the deep stuff. I think he was looking for some help from Kelly on the outside.
And a first down at the 24-yard line. Dane Conlon with a stop on Troy Stratford. Troy Stratford, the excellent third down back, made it back from a serious knee injury. Boston College's all-time leading rusher.
Now, we talked about this matchup at the beginning about Richmond Webb and Bruce Smith. Now, he just checks him back down to the inside to Keith Sims, the other rookie. Now, if Bruce Smith wants to move inside, they've got Sims to pick him up there. If he moves to the outside of Webb, there's a back to pick him up there. So they're actually looking at almost 3 people trying to block Bruce Smith.
Second down and 6 from the 28. 4:20 remaining in this first quarter, and the crowd attempting to play havoc with Dan Marino. Marino in trouble. And that was an ad-lib he was able to complete to Tony Page. Ray Bentley on the coverage. That's a 12-yard pickup. And And Miami has a first down.
A lot of great things happened on this play. First of all, Bruce Smith should have had his 20th sack. He's got Marino, but watch what Marino does. Little fake, the hole Smith. He gets to the outside. The best part about this play is the catch that Page makes. Page is turned one way. Now watch, he'll come back the other way, lose sight of the ball, still catch the ball. He's out of bounds. They ought to review it, and they are. Bring it back. His foot was out of bounds. But it was a tremendous catch because, you know, you're taught as a receiver, when the ball comes, you turn towards the ball. You don't turn your back, right? See where you turn his back here? Now you lose sight of the ball, but he has enough presence of mind to come back and get the ball. But look at his left foot on the line. They're going to bring this ball back, and it's going to be third down.
The replay official is Dave Hawk, and he is in communication with Red Cashin on the field.
After a review by the replay official, we have a reversal. It is ruled incomplete.
Well, Tony Page in a mild argument, but if he looked down, or tomorrow when he takes a look at the replay, I think he will agree.
Yeah, you see, Marv, this is one of the reasons why the replay is good. Now, this would have been a first down. The officials are there. Page is on the line. He is clearly out of bounds. Nothing inconclusive there. He's out of bounds. This is why the replay must stand, but they've got to get as many cameras as we have in every game.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, Paul. Are you in touch with the accountants?
Did you mark that down?
What did you say?
They have to have as many cameras as we have for every game.
So you like the replays if they spend more money, is what you say. I mean,
you've got to have that many cameras for every replay.
On third down and 6 from the 28. 4 wideouts for the Dolphins. Nice catch by Clayton. And Marino comes back and picks up the first down. Mark Clayton making his return. He was covered by the extra defensive back, David Poole.
When you watch Clayton's hands, look at his hands when he catches this ball. He waits until the ball is there. Poole has no chance, just soft hands, making sure he catches the ball, knows he's going to get hit, knows where the first down is. You know, O.J. was talking about at the beginning, Clayton was worried about the steal because he does have a bad knee. He's already caught a couple.
Yes, he sat out 5 games on IR with that knee injury. First down at the 37. Off the delay. Goal opening for Sammy Smith. Stopped by Bruce Smith. Down to 3:15 remaining now in the first quarter. Set for an NFL update. Here's Bob.
Marv, it's difficult to overstate how bad the Cleveland Browns are. They've had the ball for 3 plays in the game. They've fumbled it away on all 3 snaps deep in their own territory. All 3 times, Bubby Brister has immediately taken the Steelers into the end zone. 3 Brister touchdown passes, 2 of them to number 84, Mike Mularkey. Steelers 21, Browns zip.
All right, Bob, Pittsburgh win would clinch a playoff spot. Again, it's Smith. Stopped by Darryl Talley. We talked with Talley at length yesterday, and there's no question how disappointed he is that he did not make the Pro Bowl. He has been considered the last couple of years as one of the league's most underrated players, but can't seem to get the nod by his fellow players to make the Pro Bowl.
You know, the amazing part about it, though, that Shane Conlon and Cornelius Bennett both make it, and they both tell you and tell everybody that Talley should make it before we do.
Third down and 3. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Quick release by Marino, and he has another first down. It's Clayton with his 3rd catch of this first quarter. The strong safety, Leonard Smith, made the tackle.
You know, in talking to Marino, when you talk about Clayton's back and you think he's happy, this is only the first quarter, and he's already hit him with 3 passes. Look, and he goes right out to Clayton. Clayton goes down, super catch, knows where the first down marker is. That's the experience that Marino really wants. With Clayton and Duper, both of these guys know where they have to get the first down marker. They're not worried about getting downfield for the touchdown now. They're setting that up.
Duper left, Clayton right. With a quick hit over the middle of Phil Edmonds. John Hagee from the free safety position to make the stop. Edmonds, who had a terrific day last week against Seattle, career best, 5 receptions, able to connect for a 24-yard advance.
All right, Farrell Edmonds goes across. Now look at Cornelius Bennett. I know he's not supposed to be covering him one-on-one. He's down there trying to make the play. Hagee comes up and makes the tackle. But the one thing about Marino, what he does, he threw one to Duper just a little while ago. Throws 2 to Clayton. It goes back to the tight end. He drives the defense crazy because he doesn't have one particular target.
First down from the 29, and that one was dropped. Edmonds tried to turn for it. He was covered by the outside linebacker, Cornelius Bennett. Farrell Edmonds has come a long way this season. Earlier in the year, had problems holding on to the ball, too many holding penalties. But he's come on strong, and he's made the Pro Bowl for the 2nd consecutive season.
Then don't be surprised to see Marino come back with that very same play, because when he came out on the bootleg, he had Clayton all by himself going down the field. What happened was number 31, James Williams, let him go. They'll come back to it.
This is the 11th play of the drive. 2nd and 10 at the Buffalo 29. 45 seconds left. First quarter with no score. Little flare hit the defender in the back, hit Conlon, who was covering. Marino also taking a shot. The pass intended for Stratford.
Smith and Talley both were in the backfield on Dan Marino. He throws the ball and he'll hit Shane Conlon in the back with it. But here's why he threw it so soon, because Talley was the first guy there, and then Smith came in and put the finishing touches on. But watch this. Here comes Smith. Talley will be the first guy, 56, and then Smith on the other side. That's why Marino had to dump the ball that quick.
3rd down and 10 at the Buffalo 29. Duper and Clayton both flank to the left side. Penalty markers down, and Marino just puts the brakes on.
Well, Keith Sims, number 69, the left guard, moved because the linebackers were standing in the corner faking coming on the blitz, and he moves. He knows it. He moved too soon.
Number 69 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
That's a big old target. That's a big old target. And when you see this big guy right here, you see the linebacker was right there is moving. When he does, the big guy is going to move. Here it comes. That's it. Once he makes that motion, against the offense.
So all 3 penalties have been called on the Miami offense. It's a 3rd down and 15. Marino with the time, and it's broken up. Intended for Tony Martin.
You're going to have a flag. I'm going to tell you right now, Hagee just absolutely drills. I'm sorry, Marv. Tony Martin after the play. He tears his helmet off. I mean, this is a dumb play by Hagee. The play was already knocked down by James Williams. Watch this. The play is knocked down. Now watch what Hagee does. Right in the head. There's no reason for that. We know you're tough, but don't be dirty and don't be stupid.
And Marv Levy was telling us that was his major concern, because he has his club there. He's upset. His team is so pumped up.
Unnecessary roughness after the pass. Number 22.
And he was saying that he does not want his guys to get carried away and commit foolish penalties, as we just saw, particularly against Miami, because normally they do not pick up many penalties.
That's exactly what he said. That was really funny, because Levy's talking about the fact that Miami, they just, whether they're not called against them, I know that there are holding penalties, don't we all, almost every play. But the one thing that this man stresses from the beginning of training camp, because I do their preseason games, is play tough, don't play dumb, and don't play dirty. And when you see the play, you may be yelling at the referee now, but when you see the play, you're going to see that Hagee was wrong.
And as a first down at the 19. And Smith tried the right side and went for the short gain. He refused to go down. Finally, Jeff Wright was able to make the tackle. That's time running down in this first quarter. Dolphins and Bills are scoreless. Capacity crowd here at Rich Stadium, where the Bills are undefeated, 7-0 at home. The AFC's only undefeated home club. Over the last 3 years, Buffalo has won 22 of its last 24 here in Orchard Park. And that will wrap it. So the first quarter in the books. We'll be back here in Buffalo in just a moment.
The good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
When you're out street hiking, you better know how to read the terrain. First, trust your instincts. By all means, avoid distractions. Do your best to preserve the wildlife, because street hikers don't just walk, they hike. Fresh shoes, Joe.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legend set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
Bridges is giving Richard Mulligan's hometown a Christmas they'll never forget.
The best holiday ever!
Guess who's coming for Christmas on NBC tonight?
This is where Hagee tries to take off Tony Martin's head. And this is where the flag is. Watch right here. Look at his right arm. Look where he hits him. Right there, in the head, in the neck. And that's why the penalty is called. He rips his helmet off. You can't complain about that. That's dirty football.
John Hagee in his third year out of Texas. He's been playing for the injured Mark Kelso. Kelso is back, although he is not back as a regular. 14th play of the drive as we get underway. Second quarter, second down and 6 at the 15. Smith swept. Sammy Smith, in his second season out of Florida State, says that he's much quicker this year after dropping about 12 pounds in the offseason. Paulie says he's cut out the extra trips to his favorite fast food outlets. Something some of us can relate to.
Well, the only way they're going to stop me from doing this is if they take my car away.
It is a third down and 4. And so this is the 15th play of this long drive by the Dolphins. No score as we get underway in the second. That is short of the first down as Talley had the wraps on Jim Jensen. And the ball was wrestled free. But they will bring it back.
It'll be fourth down, and Talley, you know, you see how important he is. He's got Jensen man-to-man coming out. Talley the linebacker on the back, and Marino is looking right at him. Watch this. Bang, the ball is there. Talley knows where that first down marker is, and I'm going to tell you something. They're going to call a whistle blown, but there's a fumble, and we're going to look at it, and there's no way they're going to overrule it, even if they review it. It's a fumble.
Well, they are right to the line. 28-yard field goal attempt coming up on a 4th and 2. Pete Stoyanovich, 21 for 23 for the season. The holder is the backup quarterback, Scott Secules. And Stojanovich's kick is no good. Pete Stoyanovich, a Pro Bowl kicker, missing from 28 yards. The Bills and the Dolphins remain scoreless.
And winds northwest 30 knots, gusting to 45 knots. Rain expected to continue till 10 p.m. 5 inches predicted in the 7-county area.
If you've ever been stranded,
You ought to get this new Interstate X2 booster. It's actually 2 batteries in one. So, when you run down your main battery, the extra booster battery starts your car. Interstate X2 booster. Best idea since a spare tire.
Tots, the premium choice.
In these uncertain times, the intelligent investor focuses on current trends, watches the economic indicators, analyzes the various business sectors, developing keen insights before making a single move on Wall Street. On the other hand, the extremely intelligent investor has someone else help him do it. Prudential-based securities, rock solid, market wise.
Pete Stoyanovich in his second season out of Indiana University had made 7 straight. And as you see, he had connected on his last 18 inside the 40, but he missed from 28.
Not used to the field, a little slippery. Could be a lot of things.
Or he just blew it.
He blew it.
First down from the 20, Buffalo. Taking over, Dolphins and the Bills are scoreless. And once again, flags are thrown.
Well, it is amazing. Sean Lee, as soon as he was across, he pointed to the Buffalo Bills. Now, they seem to be going backwards, so they must agree. I'd tell my team, don't move back until the guy tells you to move back.
Ball start. Number 69 on the offense. Still first down.
And it's Will Wolford to tackle, but Sean Lee was over the middle. How did he see the left tackle move?
Sets it back to a first and 15, back of the 15.
Now, right at the bottom right, you see Wolford lift up. What I'm saying, Sean Lee is on the other side of the center. Why didn't the guy next to him, Jeff Cross, move?
John Beebe, who was hammered in the first quarter and left because of a head injury, is all right and is back in action. The handoff to Thurman Thomas. Thomas ripping across the 25. He went for 11. Inside linebacker Cliff Odom making the stop.
They're going right to the side of Richard, Wolford, and Hall. The Hall was there between Richard 51 and Kent Hall, the center. Hurry up.
Thomas came out limping, but indicated that he's all right. Right going deep. Intended for Andre Reed. He was covered by Tim McKyer.
Well, you know, this is incidental contact, accidental contact, any way you want to call it. Watch Reed. Now, McKyer has as much right at that football, and look at Reed is pushing with his hand. If you're going to call anything at all on that particular play, it would be offensive pass interference against Reed, because McKyer has as much right to that ball as Reed does.
Tim McKyer, a man who wears 2 Super Bowl rings, constantly admired by his teammates and by virtue of his play with the San Francisco 49ers. Looks like there's a holding penalty called on the center, Kent Hull, and they will move it back again. Now, in the past, Tim McKyer has not been shy in assessing himself. He's called himself the Michael Jordan of defensive backs.
All right, now you see Kent Hall right to the left of your screen, and now that's holding. And I don't care how, you cannot put your arm outside and around the guy's neck. That hurts.
It's a 2nd and 14. Reed on the completion, able to stiff arm his way for the first down. Strong safety Jarvis Williams making the stop. Good effort after the catch by Reed, who picked up 20 in all.
You know, when you take a look at Andre Reed, here's another Pro Bowler, and all the catches that he has, they're usually short passes just like that, about anywhere from 8 to 10 yards, and then he breaks it. Here he comes across the field. Offerdahl is trying to stay with him. I got to believe that Offerdahl is not trying to cover Reed one-on-one.
Back to the hurry-up, and Reich unloads. Intended for Beebe. Now, last year against Miami, when Reich started for Buffalo in the absence of Jim Kelly, the Bills knocked off Miami. Beebe and Reich were able to combine on a 60-yard touchdown pass.
What it didn't Reich tell us, he says there isn't a corner man that can stay with Beebe. Now Reich is throwing the ball. Beebe thinks that he's being interfered with by Brown, but again, it goes back to the same thing we had on this side with McCarthy. He has as much right Brown to that ball as Beebe does.
And Thomas broke a tackle. Cliff Odom made the stop, and it's being spotted at the marker.
Here they come again with Thurman Thomas, and they go right back to the same place. Inside Richard and Hall, the All-Pro center, and Richard, everybody thinks should have been an All-Pro guard. The Bills have 8 All-Pros. They thought they should have at least 12.
Thurman Thomas has come up limping on a number of occasions. The coaches wanted to pull him a couple of plays back, but he waved it off. Buffalo just short of a first down. 12.5 remaining in the second quarter. The Dolphins and the Bills are scoreless. Marv Albert, Paul McGuire from Buffalo. It'll be a third and about a half-yard at the 44. Miami must beat Buffalo to have a chance to win the division title. If they beat the Bills and then the Colts next week, they would win the AFC East and gain home field throughout the playoffs. A Buffalo win would clinch the division championship for the Bills and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They will get a first-round bye in the expanded playoffs. Don Smith has the first down. So a first down at the 47. Now this will capsulize it. If the Dolphins win today, they remain in the running for the AFC East crown, and then would need a win against Indianapolis or a Buffalo loss to Washington. How do you figure the Colts? They knocked off the Redskins last night. And an injured player, Alfred Oglesby, a backup nose tackle, being taken to the sidelines. We'll be right back.
The Chevy Corsica has better aerodynamics than a Porsche 928 and a gas-charged independent front suspension, which helps you hold the road. Corsica also has a new user-friendly interior, which helps you hold the most important things. It's a very comforting way more people are winning with.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
And now it's easy to win with an efficient new Chevy Corsica.
I want to fly in business class. My company only pays for coach. So I fly business class for the price of coach. It's called beating the system. Of course, you can't do it on just any airline.
On TWA, when you buy an unrestricted domestic coach ticket, you can reserve a confirmed seat in our business class for the price of coach.
You pay for coach, you sit in business class, and it isn't even your birthday.
TWA's business class. We did it first, we do it better.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place. All my dreams, Miller Low Fast.
Well, Paul, I guess Thurman Thomas does like to go to his left.
Well, yeah, he goes to the All-Pro side over there. Well, you know, with Richard and Wolford. Wolford is the left tackle. Remember, on most teams, especially with right-handed quarterbacks, your left tackle is probably your best offensive lineman, or at least best tackle.
Buffalo first down from their 47. 3.5 gone by. Second quarter. Miami and Buffalo, no score. And Reich throwing in a crowd and able to complete to McKellar for the first down. McKellar between Offerdahl and Odom.
And this is what Don Shula told us yesterday, what McKellar gives to this football team. Watch this now. Look where this pass is thrown. You can't throw the pass any better than that. That ball hits McKellar right in the hands. They pick up a first down.
Back to the hurry-up first down of the Miami 41-yard line. Now count by Reich. Off the punt. Able to run inside the 35-yard line. David Griggs on the cover-up. Check of the ticker. Philadelphia with a 7-0 lead on Dallas. Houston 10-0 in the second. Look at Pittsburgh over Cleveland. A victory by Pittsburgh would clinch a wild card. Second down and 4 at the 36.
Here's the rule. Pittsburgh starts out slow and ends up in the playoffs.
Reich on the swing for Thomas. And Thurman Thomas with the first down. 13-yard pickup. John Offerdahl made the stop.
Louis Oliver made a mistake. He has Thurman Thomas on this screen. And watch what happens. He hesitates. And when he hesitates, Thurman goes by him. Here it comes right there. It was breaking down. Instead of running through Thurman Thomas and making a play, he gave Thomas the opportunity to put that little fake on him and get downfield.
And this the 10th play of the drive. First down of the 23. Thomas finding the hole. Able to collect a first down, but a penalty marker has been thrown.
And it's against Buffalo because Frank Reich is heading back to the 40-yard line.
A host of penalties called in this first half.
Number 65, John Davis.
Number 67 on the offense.
Well, he thought it was on him. He was talking to the official. It's on Ken Hall. That's his second, the All-Pro center.
Ken Hall in his 5th year out of Mississippi State, making it to the Pro Bowl for the 3rd consecutive season.
He was holding. You can't get your arms outside.
High number of penalties, 9 in all in this first half. Sets it back to a 1st and 20 at the 33. 2 key plays in this first half. The fumble lost by Frank Reich off that long Buffalo drive, and then Stoyanovich missing on a 28-yard field goal. James Lofton had nowhere to go. What a turnaround season for James Lofton. Only 8 receptions last year. And this season, with that, his second catch of the day, 33 catches for the year. He is now number 3 in all-time receiving yards behind Steve Largent and Charlie Joyner. 34-year-old James Lofton.
That play there picked up a grand total of about a half a yard.
Second down and still about 20, and Wright unloads. Don Beebe for 17 yards. A strong safety, Jarvis Williams, made the stop. Beebe with tremendous speed in his second year out of Chadron State in Nebraska.
Now, Beebe's coming across, and what Jarvis Williams was talking, who he was talking to, was Griggs, 92, the linebacker. He said, you cannot let him get to the inside.
3rd and 3. Down at the 16. Here's Thomas. Pulling for the first down. Jarvis Williams on the tackle. Thurman Thomas has run very well in this first half. 8 carries, 58 yards.
Here's McKellar. We saw him catch the ball. Now let's watch him block to the outside. He gets the linebacker, David Griggs, number 92, to commit himself to the outside. He just lets him go out there. You really don't have to put a whole lot of pressure. If that's the way he wants to go ahead and let him go that way. And then Thurman Thomas cuts back to the inside.
There's Thomas on the 1st and goal from the 9. And Thomas stacked up. John Offerdahl, Miami's leading tackler, will get credit for that one.
Another all-pro season for John Offerdahl, number 56. Now watch, he takes on Richard at the line of scrimmage, number 51, and gets rid of him, finds Thurman Thomas, makes the play. 2-yard gain, that's all.
Second and goal from the 7. Reich with the time, fires, touchdown! Lofton with his 4th touchdown reception of the season.
The nice part about this play is the time that Frank Reich has to throw the football. Now Lofton comes down. Watch the moves that Lofton makes. Goes back. Reich has all the time in the world. McKyer can't get there. Just a perfect pass. Frank Reich, what he told us yesterday, I just don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to hurt our football team, and I think I can help him.
Scott Norwood will attempt the extra point. Reich put it down. The Buffalo Bills with a 7-0 lead on the Miami Dolphins.
This is a 2-hour ride.
So?
So what if my diarrhea comes back?
Oh, relax. You took these Imodium AD caplets.
Just once. I always took the pink stuff 2 or 3 times.
Well, these are much better.
Imodium AD caplets are so effective, they often work in one dose, instead of dose after dose after dose like the pink stuff.
Leaving.
Already?
Imodium AD caplets can make your first attack of diarrhea your last.
Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
Not long ago, Honda and Toyota were known for the highest mileage. But today, there's Geo, the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know
you. In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By TWA, the only airline that lets you fly business class for the price of coach. By McDonald's, you know the one, it's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by Miller Genuine Draft, with a reminder to please think when you drink this holiday season.
7-0. The Buffalo Bills leading the Miami Dolphins. 13 plays, 80 yards over 6 minutes, 49 seconds. And Scott Norwood getting set to kick it off with a combination of Mark Logan and Stephon Adams. Logan on the return. And a flag has been thrown. Mark Logan in his 4th year out of Kentucky last year, leading the NFL in kickoff returns until a knee injury set him back, and he ended up finishing 3rd, averaging 25 per return.
All right, here's Lofton's touchdown. Now, when he goes in, he's going to avoid the linebacker right here. Take a look at here. Here's the linebacker. Now, here's McKyer. McKyer is already beaten. He can't get to the inside. He tries to make the play, but can't. There's Lofton. He avoids the linebacker. McKyer can't get there. That's touchdown.
James Lofton in his 13th year out of Stanford. So they set it back on Miami.
They just called Adams for the block, number 47 on Tasker, who is going to the Pro Bowl. That looks like he's 12 years old, doesn't he? Tasker.
Miami starting out from their 8-yard line. The center sends Galbraith at the guards. Dennison Webb at the tackles. 6:45 remaining in this first half. And Marino's pass rejected. Darryl Talley got a piece of it.
Well, we talked about the guy that should have gone to the Pro Bowl. All of his teammates believe it. Here comes Talley. Being blocked by Sims there. Now watch. Times it perfectly. The ball is thrown. He gets up in the air, knocks the ball away. Almost knocked it back at Bruce Smith. Talley's telling Smith, now look, when I hit the ball back to you like that, I want you to cut it to the end zone right behind Marino. The ball hits you right in the hands. You got touchdown.
And Marino now one of his last 5 as a 2nd and 10 from the 8. Buffalo 7 and Miami nothing. Marino going the middle and a beautiful catch made. Mark Clayton on the reception. Leonard Smith, the strong safety, hauled him down. It went for 43.
I'm so glad, O.J., where is he? Tell us about how worried Clayton was about his knees. I mean, that is a perfect pass. Watch where Marino puts this ball. There's just no chance to defend against it. He puts the ball up high enough over the linebacker Collin in front of Hagee, and then Clayton does the rest. Leonard Smith is chasing. Williams is there. Odoms is there. But they get the ball into Bill's territory. Perfect pass.
4th catch of the day for Clayton. And a first down at midfield. Marino off the roll. And that is complete. Tony Martin on the reception, covered by James Williams, went for 13. Tony Martin was a starter in the absence of Clayton when Clayton was on IR.
Play action. Now take a look at it. When Marino runs that play action, Williams is way off. Martin knows exactly where he's going. That side of the field, going away from this press box, is really slippery on the other side of the field, all the way up and down.
Miami, first down at the Buffalo 36, 5.5 remaining in this first half. Sammy Smith. Check that. Mark Logan on the carry. Short pickup. Now let's go back to Bob Costas and NFL Live.
All right, Marv. Warren Moon off that great passing performance a week ago in Kansas City goes up top here to Haywood Jeffries for a 21-yard touchdown. Houston has the lead at Cincinnati in the second quarter, 10-6.
All right, Bob, 2nd down and 9. Intended for Clayton. Covered by Clifford Hicks. Mark Clayton with that 39-inch vertical leap. Talking with him yesterday during the Dolphin workout, I asked him about the story that made the rounds in college during his days at Louisville, that he once jumped lengthwise over a ping pong table. Claims it's true, Paul.
Yeah, but it was folded up.
Yes. Now, kids, don't try that at home.
Yeah.
It is a 3rd down and 9 at the 35. Just under 5 minutes to go. First half. And Marino was almost intercepted by the quarterback, Nate Odoms. The pass intended for Mark Duper.
Oh, this is excellent coverage by Nate Odoms. Watch this. Duper's going across, but the ball is thrown a little bit behind. Watch Odoms. He closes. He's there. Almost makes the interception. Duper, Mark, you didn't have a chance at that ball.
And the 4th and 9, Roby comes on. He will punt from midfield. Al Edwards back at his 10. Reggie Roby had some problems earlier in the season, and then came on. Edwards lets it go. And the Dolphins able to down it. A 34-yard punt. The ball is being placed down at the 1. We'll be back in a moment.
Just a little holiday reminder. Keep your edge with Sharps from Miller. The breakthrough non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Hey, what's that? Oh, that's our new Chevy. It's an APV.
An AP who?
Yeah, it's a code. Top secret. We're talking irrustable composite panels. See that? Zero gravity modular seats.
Oh, yeah?
Resilient, mollustic cuff polyurea fenders. And it's got this...
Chevy Lumina APV. A very original way more people are winning with the heartbeat.
Biorhythms.
Biorhythm?
Yeah.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
The Bills. The Redskins. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Next Sunday.
In a moment, Kent Hull will put his hand on the ball and snap it to quarterback Frank Reich. Hull was telling us yesterday when he sets the ball, kind of spins it so he can feel the engraved commissioner's autograph. This point he told the quarterback, he said in his USFL days, he'd close his eyes and he'd feel USFL Commissioner Harry Usher's name pointed in the right direction. Thurman Thomas on a short pickup. Now with Paul Tagliabue, I would think that you could feel the T in Tagliabue, right? And the long name might make it a little bit more easier for Kent Hull.
Well, you know, and it'd also be a lot easier, too, if you just looked down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the name's only on one part of the ball. Just look down and see what the name is and turn around.
You know, you mentioned that to Kent yesterday. He said, you know, I never thought of that.
See, it's facing this way, right to the quarterback.
Second down, 8. Number 3. Buffalo with a 7-0 lead. Touchdown pass from Wright to Lofton. Nice cut. And Thurman Thomas making a bit more out of that than you would have thought as it developed. John Offerdahl on the stop.
But the thing that makes Thurman Thomas so good and lead the league is watch Thurman Thomas's legs. They do not stop moving. Watch his feet. Always turning, always moving, always going upfield, getting his shoulders square. His legs never stop.
68 yards on 11 carries for Thurman Thomas. Had a big one against Miami here in Buffalo last year. 148 yards on the ground. 3rd down and 2 from the 9. As we approach 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Thomas on a stutter step, gunning for the first down. A reminder at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's and NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the game.
This ball has to get just over the 11 to be a first down. If that is not a first down. It's going to miss it by just a little bit.
The NFL's professor of coaches, Marv Levy, has a master's degree in English history from Harvard.
Just by a little bit. See, I don't know what a little bit is. That's a little bit. See that guy? Those 2 fingers there, that's a little bit. And you just don't take any chances down there. You kick the ball away. I mean, you're at the 11-yard line. Hey, here's some people out there booing. No, sir. You don't want to give Miami the ball down in this territory. There's 3:03 to remaining.
So it is 4th and a little bit. And Rick Booten-Tooten will punt from his end zone to Tony Martin, who's out at midfield. Martin in the past has had some fumble difficulties. Fair catch. And Miami gets it back. A 42-yard punt by Tooten. Penalty flag has been thrown.
They're clapping down there, so it looks like it's against Buffalo, and I would make him kick it again. Even though you do have good field position to 48, anything can happen on a kick. We'll see if they make him kick it again. Push him back. I would. Why not? Anything can happen on a bad day like this, and it moves the ball half the distance. We'll put it back just outside the 5 and make Tooten kick again.
Holding. Number 63 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. It'll be 4th down.
That's the center, Adam Lingner. If it's, in fact, 63, I thought he said, but there's 53s out there. That's Patton, the backup linebacker.
And so they will punt again. And Tootin is now deep in his end zone. Martin moves up to the 45-yard line. 2:45 remaining in the first half. Buffalo 7 and Miami nothing. Big rush and a good punt. Here's Tony Martin on the return. A 52-yard punt by Tootin.
Picked up 4 extra yards.
2:32 remaining in this first half. We'll be right back.
It's Chevrolet Geo winter time, where everyone can win with the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America.
Sir, what's your favorite color?
Medium Quasar Blue Metallic.
Good guess. You can win with cash back or low financing on any Geo. Tracker, Storm, Prism. Miss, come here often?
I've never even bought a new car before.
Well, then you can win with a first-time buyer bonus on any Geo.
I love this Metro.
I can tell. Get to know Geo during wintertime at your Chevy Geo dealer.
Share the fantasy. Send them number 5.
Here's a thought. How can you cut your heating bill by 12%? Go from 72 to 68 degrees. Simple. Let's put our energy into saving it.
Christmas, marked by Santas, holly, and the welcome presence of Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with headache, accompanied by jingling bellies. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
This Christmas, put a little extra excitement into your day. Isaiah. Air. A Christmas tale you won't forget.
Quick check of the 10-minute ticker. Dallas wins today. They would clinch a wild card spot. Houston leads Cincinnati. Bubby Brister has thrown for 4. Chicago with the lead. Atlanta over the Rams, and the Jets in front of New England. First down at the 48-yard line. Mark Logan getting the call. Mark Logan, back from a knee injury in his 4th season out of Kentucky, stopped by the strong safety Leonard Smith. He went for 5. It's a 2nd down and 5, and now Miami goes to the no huddle. They'll do it from time to time. Logan fell down.
You know, again, they know that side of the field from the hash marks out is slippery. Don't run that way. Come back the other way. It's a 2-minute warning.
So, with 2 minutes remaining in this first half, we'll take a break. Happy holidays from Rich Stadium in Buffalo.
The bustle of the season can wear a body down.
You need a place, an oasis to bring yourself around.
Break from the pace, take 5 from the race. You know the one, McDonald's.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's. Take a break where the welcome's warm, the food's hot, and the service is fast.
McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's.
This is no night for weak batteries.
Got enough energy to pull us through, Rudolph?
That's why you should test all your batteries with a new copper top tester. A little present. Only from Duracell.
At Northwest, a free flight is as easy as 1, 2, 3. The more you fly, the better it gets. Earn turn free flights to terrific sights. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. For details, call Northwest or your travel agent today. Important conditions apply.
The only score, 7-yard touchdown pass from Reich to Lofton. Buffalo 7, Miami nothing. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. For those of you who missed NFL Live, Phil Simms told Bob Costas that he hasn't been told much about how long his injured foot will sideline him. Jim Kelly, also a guest on the program, said he expects to be back from his knee injury in time for Buffalo's playoff games. That would be the divisional playoff. And Will McDonough said that New England would use its #1 pick on Notre Dame junior Rocket Ishmael if he enters the draft next spring. Coming up at halftime, it'll be Bob, Will, and O.J. O.J. joining us here in Buffalo. 3rd down and 4 at the 42. 4 wideouts for the Dolphins. And Marino completes for the first down. Again, it's Clayton, stopped by Hicks. So a big first half for Clayton. That is 5th catch of the day.
You know, we saw Marino in Washington and really did not look well throwing the ball. But when he has Clayton and Duper together, he really has the confidence in his wide receivers.
On the first down play, the reception made by Jensen. Darryl Talley on the coverage. Good diving catch by Jensen. Dolphins in the hurry up. 2nd down and 3 from the 29. Flag is thrown, and it's incomplete.
Bruce Smith was offside. Now, I don't know, he's signaling somebody moved, but he was in the backfield. The ball was snapped, and it's against Bruce. But if Webb moves, that's what Bruce is talking about. He said, wait a minute. I wouldn't be that far. It's against Buffalo. Bruce. Now, actually, Webb does move.
Defense, outside the right end, first down.
The worst part about it is he still didn't get to Marino.
And Miami, off that penalty, first down at the 24, minute 21 remaining. In this first half, Marino now 11 for 18, 128 yards, but nothing on the board. Again, a flag thrown, and it is picked off. Clifford Hicks on the interception. Pass intended from Mark Clayton. Now let's see what this flag is all about. Clifford Hicks, in his 4th year out of Oregon, a one-time Los Angeles Ram. They waived him several weeks back. They'll sign him as a free agent. Obviously, the call against Miami. So Buffalo stopping the Dolphin drive on that interception, and they will take over.
Now, Marino, when he throws this ball, first of all, they're in a hurry-up offense, which I don't understand. They have 3 timeouts. Now, Marino's throwing. Hicks just makes the turn. The ball is thrown behind. He makes a super interception. Clayton has the presence of mind to get down on Hicks and stop him from getting up to get downfield. But the thing about it is that where the ball is thrown, Marino is upset. He said that Clayton is held right here and there. Illegal contact downfield, I guess you can call that. But Hicks makes a great play turning back into the ball. The ball was right in his hands.
11th time this season that Marino has been intercepted. Clifford Hicks, a backup defensive back, with his first interception of the season. So it will be Buffalo ball from their 7-yard line, and they'll go double tight end, Keith McKellar and Pete Metzelaars. Well, next Saturday here on NBC, a special afternoon of NFL action beginning at noon Eastern time with NFL Live with Bob and Will, plus O.J. Simpson going one-on-one with Bears head coach Mike Ditka. Kansas City Chiefs and the Chicago Bears from the Windy City. That's next Saturday at noon Eastern time right here, NBC. And Marino, 11 for 19. He has hit 6 different receivers. His favorite target, though, has been Mark Clayton. He was picked off just a moment ago.
Here's where the Dolphins, if the Buffalo Bills just try to run the clock out, Miami still has 3 timeouts, so they can actually stop the clock and force the Bills into a punting situation.
Now the Bills to the line, and at 14 remaining in this first half. Thomas picked up a couple. Stopped by Cliff Odom. That Bills front line with Hull at center, Richer and Davis at the guards, Ballard and Wolford at the tackles. 71 yards, 13 carries for Thurman Thomas. 2nd down and 8 from the 9.
I don't understand why the Miami Dolphins are not taking the timeout here. They'll take one after this play, but they have 3 of them. They're letting the clock run down. The Bills are letting it run down. There's 15 on the clock. They'll get it down inside 30 seconds. And still with 3 timeouts. It's wasted.
And it's Thomas again off the give. Clock still running, and now timeout is taken. So it stopped with 17 seconds to go in the half.
I don't understand it. I really don't. With 3 timeouts, because you could take them down to 4th down and make a punt. They lost 45 to 50 seconds off the clock. And now it's 17 seconds. They still have 2 timeouts. It's 3rd down. I understand it. But the Bills are going to run another play.
When we resume, it's a 3rd down and 5 at the 12. Is Frank Reich, the understudy, making his way to Broadway. Reich did start 3 games last year, guided the Bills to victory in each game, including the appearance against Miami, where he threw only 9 times. He was the starter at Maryland as a senior, although he was slowed for part of the season with a shoulder injury. He spent most of his collegiate career backing up Boomer Esiason. He was Boomer's roommate at Maryland. I asked Frank if he and Boomer talked during the course of the week. He said yes. Boomer said, just go out and do what you've been doing. Of course, what he's been doing has been taking place at practice most of the time. Off the handoff, Thurman Thomas picking his way as we run down to 10 seconds. And again, a timeout is taken. Reich also told us, yes, he's excited about the starting opportunity, but he just liked to step into the scene and get out and just ride Jim Kelly, as he put it, right to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he said, I can't wait till Jim gets back. Most guys you talk to, you know, they always say, well, you know, I want my opportunity. I'm the kind of guy that wants to get in. I can play because I think I can move the team. Even last year when he took over, he said, I know I'm only here for a short period of time until Jim Kelly comes back. This is Jim Kelly's football team. There's Reich and Kelly standing next to each other. And he said, as soon as Jim comes back, that's fine with me. I know what my position is. I know what I stand. And that's one of the things that helps Frank mentally, because he knows the position he's in. Of course, Jim Kelly is a $20 million quarterback also.
And that leads to less hassle if it's a guy behind the starter who feels he's the equal as Tootin punts from inside his 5. Martin calling for a fair catch. Penalty marker is thrown. When the backup quarterback is close in ability, at least in his own head, or perhaps that could be the case, that's where you get the controversy. Here, it's clear cut. There's no question.
Yeah, I mean, there's no qualms at all. I mean, everybody understands, and Reich understands it. But I think the interesting thing that Marv Levy told us yesterday, and we had it in the opening today, that the fact that this is not Jim Kelly's offense. This is an offense that both Reich and Kelly, and also Gail Gilbert, who is the 3rd quarterback, now the 2nd quarterback, understand.
Number 35 of the receivers, post-possession, 1st down and 10.
That's Kerry Glenn, called on the penalty with 3 seconds remaining in the half.
I just don't understand the use of the timeouts in that last series for the Miami Dolphins. I really don't. This one, you just throw the ball to the end zone, 3 seconds to go.
Miami at its 33-yard line.
What's the mean? All week long, everybody's talking about weather. We did a thing on the equipment. Weather's not been a factor here today, so far.
Well, you're indoors in a press box. The window is closed, Paul. You're wearing 8 coats and a couple of pair of gloves as Marino fires into a crowd, and it's broken up.
Then watch warm-up here?
And there's a heater right behind you. Oh. James Pruitt, the intended receiver. That's the end of the first half. It's the Bills 7 and the Dolphins nothing. Now to Bob Costas. Let's go back to New York for NFL Live. Bob?